My wife convinced me to sign over my house, then divorced me 3 months later and took everything. Years later, after I won a $3 million lottery, she came crawling back, claiming her boyfriend scammed her and she made a terrible mistake. Too bad for her, I've already moved on. Hello Reddit I plus here. I never thought I'd end up as one of those guys you hear about. The ones who lose everything in a divorce and get left in the dust. But that's exactly what happened to me. Thanks to Amanda. Amanda and I had been married for 6 years. It wasn't perfect, but I thought we were solid. Then, out of the blue, she started bringing up finances more often. She said she was worried about protecting our assets and suggested we put the house in her name, just in case anything ever happened to me. She made it sound so reasonable, so practical. I trusted her. Like an idiot, I signed the papers. 3 months later, she blindsided me with divorce papers. I was too shocked to fight back properly. She got the house, my savings, even my damn dog, Max. I walked away with nothing but the clothes on my back and a battered sense of self-worth. Turns out, she had been seeing someone else, some smooth-talking investor, and I was just a stepping stone to her new and improved life. The next few years were tough. I bounced from one crappy apartment to another, worked 2 jobs just to scrape by. But life has a funny way of turning around when you least expect it. One Saturday morning, I stopped by the gas station for a coffee and, on a whim, bought a lottery ticket. I barely thought about it until the following week, when I saw the numbers on TV. My heart nearly stopped. I checked, double-checked, then triple-checked. $3 million. My life changed overnight. First, I got myself a lawyer. The best money could buy. He made sure Amanda couldn't come sniffing around if she found out. Then I bought myself a house. Nothing too extravagant, but it was mine. I traveled, invested, and finally lived for myself. And most importantly, I met someone new, Rachel. She was everything Amanda wasn't. Kind, honest, and actually in love with me. Not my bank account. I thought Amanda was a thing of the past. But then, 6 years after our divorce, she called. At first, I didn't recognize the number. Curiosity got the better of me, and I picked up. Jake? Her voice was hesitant. It's Amanda. I almost hung up. Almost. But curiosity, mixed with a bit of petty satisfaction, made me stay on the line. Amanda. Didn't expect to hear from you. She hesitated. I know it's been a while, but I heard about your win, and I made a huge mistake, Jake. I let the wrong people influence me. I thought I was trading up, but let me guess, I interrupted. He took you for everything, didn't he? Silence. Then a choked, yeah. Turns out, her so-called investor boyfriend was a scam artist. He drained her bank account, took out loans in her name, and left her in debt up to her neck. Karma had finally come knocking. I just thought, maybe we could talk? Maybe we could try again? Her voice dripped with forced sweetness, the same tone she used when she convinced me to sign over my house. I let that hang in the air for a moment before I replied, Amanda, you took everything from me. And now that you have nothing, you think I'm just going to let you waltz back in? Jake, I loved you. I was stupid, but I loved you. We had something real. Don't you remember? I laughed. Actually laughed. Amanda, I remember you walking away the second you didn't need me anymore, and now I'm returning the favor. I hung up and blocked her number. Rachel walked into the room, noticing my smirk. Something good happen? I shrugged. Just an old mistake trying to make a comeback. But I already won the jackpot, don't need to take another gamble. And for the first time in years, I truly felt like I had come out on top. A week later, I got a message from an unknown number. Amanda again. This time, she wasn't just begging for a second chance. She was threatening to take me to court. Claimed she was entitled to some of my winnings since we had been married at the time I originally purchased lottery tickets. I showed the message to my lawyer, who chuckled and shook his head. She doesn't have a leg to stand on. She forfeited any claim when she took everything else in the divorce. We can send a cease and desist. That should have been the end of it. But Amanda, desperate and drowning in debt, was relentless. She started showing up at places she knew I frequented, trying to accidentally run into me. She even confronted Rachel once, spewing some nonsense about how she was the real love of my life. Rachel, bless her heart, handled it with grace and a well-placed eye roll before walking away. The final straw came when Amanda tried to break into my house. She must have thought I was out of town, but my security system caught her trying to sneak in through the back. I called the cops, and they picked her up before she could do any real damage. Turns out, she was trying to steal whatever she could pawn. Desperation had finally pushed her over the edge. I didn't press charges, but I did make sure there was a restraining order in place. I was done with Amanda, for good this time. As I sat on the porch one evening, watching the sun set with Rachel beside me, I felt an overwhelming sense of peace. Amanda had taken so much from me once, but I had built my life back up, stronger than before, and no amount of scheming or regret from her could take that away. Some bets, I realized, aren't worth taking. But walking away from Amanda, that had been the best bet I ever made.